Well, I was first an Apple hobbyist and an Apple customer before I was an Apple employee. So I really got started at Apple by going to the first West Coast Computer Fair in April 1977 in San Francisco and seeing an Apple II and falling in love with it. But I developed this little piece of system software that we were trying to sell. We were surprised that each company said, yeah, we'll sell this. We figured, oh, they must not be big enough then. And so after about 3 steps like that, we ended up at Apple in December 1978. We had a meeting scheduled with Steve Jobs. I had met Chris Espinosa. I actually had recognized Chris from the first West Coast Computer Fair. When I first saw the Apple II, he was the person demoing it. He was distinctive, easy to remember because he was only like 15 years old at the time, and he probably looked more like 12. And so we recognized each other, or at least I recognized him, and I would occasionally talk to him about Apple II stuff. And so I told him we were going down to Apple, had a meeting with Steve Jobs, and he said, "Watch out, you're taking your life in your hands. If he doesn't like it, he'll bite your head off." That's exactly what he said, bite your head off. So we were a little apprehensive. I wanted to keep my head attached to my neck. But we were surprised that Steve was incredibly gracious and friendly toward us, very warm. He loved our program, and at the end of the meeting we had a deal that they would actually sell it for the Apple II, Apple. But then a week later, I got a call from Steve's assistant, from Steve saying, oh, they changed their mind, they don't want to do it anymore. I later found out the reason was because it was a ROM intended for the empty ROM slot. They were just on the verge of introducing the Apple II Plus that had Microsoft Basic in that ROM slot. That was it. They had no place for it. When they called to say, well, they're not interested in the product, they were interested in hiring me, and they had a particular project in mind. And I decided, I was at that point 3 years into a PhD program at UC Berkeley, and it would be foolish for me to just drop out without a degree. So I thought, well, it was like my dream to work at Apple, of course, but I thought I should start in June instead of in January like they asked me. That later ended up costing me more than $1 million just because of the way the Apple stock worked. I missed a 4-to-1 stock split by procrastinating like that.
Wow.
But I did, that's how I got engaged with them, and so I started at Apple in August of 1979.